Welcome, I'm Jazz. This is Tom. We're both from Barry Plant in Frankston.
Jazz is my assistant, and what we're going to do today is talk about bidding at an auction and the advantages to buying at an auction from a buyer's perspective. So from a buyer's perspective, I think the one thing that an auction brings is transparency. We find that most buyers generally want to know where they stand, obviously what they're bidding against, and ultimately, probably where everyone else sees value in the home. So I think one of the things with buying in an auction, it brings a level of transparency that I guess maybe a private sale doesn't. As a buyer, I think it's really important to know sort of what everyone else thinks the house is worth. I think ultimately you can see how many bidders there are, and obviously you're going to have a budget in relation to what you think the home might go for and what you're willing to pay for it. But I think different to a private sale, I think you'll find that auctions bring a level of transparency that makes buyers feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that whatever they're paying is fair and true market value.
And what would a buyer need to do to prepare for an auction?
So I think if you're going to bid at an auction, I think there's a couple of things you need to understand. I think the first thing you need to understand is that auctions are unconditional. Ultimately, that means you have to have your finance organised. If you want to get a building and pest inspection done, I think it's important to get that done. Maybe the week of the auction. I think ultimately, once you've made the decision that you're going to bid, I think then you go and spend the money. And I think it's also really important to know that when you're bidding at an auction, you're bidding on an unconditional contract. So you want to make sure you got your finance sorted, building and pest inspections done, and I think maybe doing a bit of homework and going, okay, well, this is arguably what we think the home is worth based on comparable data. This is what we're willing to pay for it. But I think getting all your ducks in a row is really important before the day.
And let's talk about some strategies. So Tom, what are some strategies a bidder could use?
When it comes to bidding in an auction, I think I've found that there's no advantages to basically not putting your hand up at an auction, or a paddle. Like bidding strong and actually putting your hand up, as funny as that sounds, goes a long way. We've had certainly situations where we've had registered bidders turn up, no one's decided to bid for whatever reason, property passes in, and then fundamentally we end up having an auction after the auction. So one of the most important things is if you are planning to bid at an auction, actually to put your hand up and bid, because even if it doesn't hit the reserve, you'll find that if it does pass into you, you still get first right of refusal with regards to negotiating at the vendor's reserve after the auction. Most of the time it ends up selling after that, but if you don't bid at all, I find that you end up having like an auction after the auction, and there's no real advantages to not bidding basically.
That's a wrap, guys. Thank you, Tom, for giving us the insight of the sale method of an auction. For anyone watching, want to get in touch, you can contact us on our number or even email us directly.